So, so, okay, I'm live on YouTube. Jose, Jose said your voice. You don't like my voice? I know you can't, you don't hear my voice on Instagram. I usually don't. So iPhone says car first. Bev says SUV. That's what's up. I don't know enough to decide at this moment, so whatever is the normal step one. I got you, Sasan. Did I pronounce your name right? Both. All right, so it's like 50-50. It's like both in a car. So tell me, have awesome. Um Tell me, is this your first time hearing about medical courier, or everyone should already understand and know something about it? But let me know. Is this something brand spanking new, or you've heard about it? All right, I'm on YouTube. We're good. We're good. Ron says no. I've heard about it off and on over years. Okay, not new. Yeah, it's not new. Even when I started in 2021, or when I first heard about it in 2021, I hadn't really heard about it, but it was a lot of people gatekeeping. There was a lot of people gatekeeping. And I was just like, why are you gatekeeping? You can only deliver what's in your vehicle, especially if you are starting with your car. And I'm like, nah, that's not gonna be me. Let me give you all the juice. Cause I always say medical courier saved me and my business. I'll get into it a little bit more in the class, but it's really dope to have something that you can help bring your business along, and then also make some money. In the chat, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to pay bills? Are you trying to invest? Invest in another business or a new business? Tahira says, I heard about it from other people. Pay off bills. I get that. Let's open this right here. If you can see my screen, can you put a 1 in the chat? A 1 in the chat. Let's go turn this off. Okay. Nick says, I hate answering to a boss. I'd rather be my own. I'm gonna be honest with you, that was my hugest why. I believe everyone should have a why, a reason why you show up, because it doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is hard. I don't know if I can do this, but you're going to have to keep going. And that was my why. I was like, I'm tired of working and people telling me when to go to lunch, telling me when to go on break, get off your phone. I'm like, I'm a grown ass woman. No. So I feel that. I feel that. All right, so let's get started. I am going to be your host, Leela Brown. In the next 60 to 90 minutes, you're going to learn how to land a medical courier contracts and also how to scale the business side. We're going to be both talking about how to make the now money. I like to refer to the now money as money with your car. And then we're also going to learn how to scale that business side as well. That's the long term. I tell people you're gonna want to scale that business is because you can't pass that down to your kids. You can't hire anyone to drive your car. You always are going to want to go to the next step. I always say medical courier with your car is a stepping stone. So I am going to be your host. I want to put this disclaimer because it is a ton of scammer pages that come up every single week. I am the only Leela_Brown on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Pinterest. So when you see these pages come up, please report them, and then block them. Please try to look at their speech and how they're talking. Some of them try to talk like me, and others can usually catch it as like, that's not her, especially if you've been in one of my classes or whatnot. So just keeping that in mind. Leela_Brown, and on Instagram, I am blue check verified. So if you do not see that blue check and a Leela_Brown 34567 comes into your DMs, go ahead and block them immediately. I am not going to ask you to send me money through Zelle, through Cash App. What else? Chime. I'm always going to make sure that you purchase either right from me for something, or you go to my website, which is my stand store, or my lab group website. So just wanted to make sure that you all understand that it is not me. Report, and then block. Also, this is not a get rich quick type of scheme. This class is going to require for you to be consistent and committed. Again, I'm very transparent. You're not going to get a contract just by showing up 1 or 2 days out the week by applying for a handful of contracts. No, if you feel like that you want to excel this a lot faster, this is not the class. This is not the class. Like I said, this will require consistency and commitment. I will be giving you some tips. I will be giving you lead lists. I will be giving you everything that you need in order to start making money with your card. So make sure that you have a pen and paper and cancel out all your distractions. And last but not least, if you can, invite this to two people that can benefit. Two people that can benefit, that needs extra income, maybe lost their job, maybe want to transition, want to make some extra money. Go ahead and send this out to two people. Now, before I teach you the method, I want to share with you some proof on not just me saying it, but individuals who have came under me and have done the same exact strategy. So I want you all to give it up for Maureen. Maureen is one of my best students. It's because she was committed. She made sure that she stayed consistent. And within the first couple of weeks of joining inside my community, she landed her first contract paying $1,800 a week. If you know me, you know that I'm all about stacking. I did not get to where I'm at with just one contract. You need multiple routes, and then if you want to really excel, you can add apps as well. I'm going to go over that in class, but I want you all to congratulate Maureen in the chat. It's because she scored a one contract for $1,800 a week. So my goal for you all today is to show you how to turn 2 to 3 medical certifications into your own profitable medical courier lab business and scale it to 100K plus per year without waiting a long time to see results. I landed my first contract along with other students in the first week. I tell everyone you can land your first contract at least the first month. I don't want to say the first week for everyone, because remember, I don't know your hustle. I don't know your consistency. Like when I get into something new, I'm low key addicted. So that means I'm showing up every day. I'm working on it every single day. It gets to the point, it's a little intense, but I need you to understand that if you want to see the results, you are going to have to be consistent. You do not need a lot of startup money. If not any startup money, is because if you already have that car, you already have that smartphone, and you already have full coverage insurance, you can get started with what you already have. And then you don't need a medical degree. You don't need to go to nursing school. You don't have to go spend hundreds of $1,000s on loans like I did, because I was going into nursing school at one point. And then the greatest thing about it is all you need is 60 minutes a day, people. 60 minutes or less. You can do this and land your first contract, and you can make typically 100K plus per year. I did multiple 100K years just because I was stacking contracts, and then I turned it into the business side. So that means I removed myself from the vehicle. Therefore, I can make more money because I am focusing on getting the contract. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in class. So the strategies and methods that you're about to discover is the exact same strategies and techniques that I've personally used to scale my medical courier starter business into a full-blown full-time business, where I've added other additional services other than medical courier. Medical courier is the main, but you can also add other medical certifications and services that can scale your business 100K plus even faster. Like Derek here. Derek is one of my students. He landed two on-demand contracts and he's working on his third. Now, I want to talk about what is on-demand contracts. So when I first got started, I did not care what type of contract that I was going to get. I just wanted a contract. And at first, I was like, all right, I'm going to work for someone, and that's cool. I kind of wanted to be on my own schedule because me and my husband still had an event space studio and a couple of other businesses, so I needed the flexibility. So when I started applying, I was applying for everything, what you all should be doing. And I've quickly found out that there's multiple different types of contracts out there. There are on-demand contracts, and that just means that they'll call you when they're ready for you to run a route, or you'll call them and say, "Hey, do you have anything for today or this week?" Yes, it does require you to have a little patience, but for me, I like it is because remember, I want to be able to pick and choose the contracts and then the days I want to work. Then, if you are wanting to focus more on a full-time situation, this resembles the 9 to 5 model. So you'll get contracts that is going to be like, hey, we need you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We'll pay you hourly plus mileage reimbursement. Cool. That's decent. And then the third way is when companies will do a split with you. They'll do a 70-30 split. You take 70%, they take 30. They'll do a 60-40. You take 60 and they'll take 40. But for you all, I'm gonna ask first because everyone should just be accepting everything because you're just getting started. But what is your ultimate goal? Is your goal to work this, part-time, and you just want some couple of contracts, or you want on demand? Like, what is your goal with this whole mini side business? And then also, if you stay to the end, I will be giving you all a mini lead list so you can be able to take action today, tonight, and start reaching out to these partnering companies. And if also you stay to the end, there will be an offer for you to be able to go to the next step, which is going on in on the business side. Because I like to tell everyone, medical courier and your car should be a stepping stone. I don't want anyone in here thinking that they're going to be a medical courier for years and years and years with their car. No. You want to be able to have the next step because what happens when your car breaks down? What happens you get in a car accident? These are all things that has happened to me. So I am just asking you these same questions so you can kind of already get in your mind that, this is not my forever. This is my now, but this is not my forever. And I want to talk about my medical courier contracting journey. So it started in 2021, and that is when I first heard about it. I did not take it serious and get fully committed and I was like all in until 2022. This is me right here. All I did was go into different hospitals and pick up these green and blue bags and just deliver them to different hospitals, medical clinics, or whatnot. Now, the green and blue bags had the medical specimens. The medical specimens were technically, excuse me, blood vials where people, when the doctor or the nurse or whatnot pulled the blood from your arm or whatnot, and they put it in a tube. These bags is filled up with different types of tubes, excuse me, not different types of different people's blood. And then it is up to us to take it to different hospitals to test them. So 9 times out of 10, the company, excuse me, the hospital that you are getting your blood withdraw from, they are not testing it there. So you have to take it to different facilities that will do the testing, and not one hospital will just do the same testing. This is why medical couriers is needed because all day long it's like a relay system. We're picking up, we're dropping off, and then we're also connecting with other couriers to pick up their items because we are traveling all over. Now, the medical supplies were sometimes given like in bags like this. Sometimes they'll give actually a bag with documents in there sometime, or a box with documents as well. So keep in mind, you want a medical courier opportunity, but you don't care at the end of the day what it is exactly. As my motto, as long as it's not food or people's, because I've done that. I like to tell people that Medical courier contracts really saved my business. So in 2021, me and my husband, yes, during the pandemic, me and my husband opened up an event studio. We still have the event studio. I'm actually tuning in from my office here, and we invested in it. But just like any business, you need supplies. So we needed tables, we needed chairs. You see the draping in the back. We have wall to wall draping, we have piping, and it's not cheap. It is not cheap. And so, because I was a new business owner just getting started, I didn't have the loans, the credit, I didn't have any of that, of those things. So I wanted to make sure that my business was still successful. So that is when I got into medical courier. I had just wrote my second ebook, and it was called 30 Ways to the Bag in 30 Days. The goal was for me to take one of those businesses and document it, but also use it as one of the businesses that was going to grow my current. And that is exactly what I did. I started medical courier. I want to say about 30 days later, I was making about $5,000 a month. I seen how easy it was. Then I went all in, and then I doubled my efforts. And then the next following month, I was making over $8,500 a month consistently. And that is how I pay for my piping, my draping, everything that I needed. So when people host their events, baby showers, pop-ups, anything, that all of the supplies they needed, I gave to them. This is why I asked you all in the beginning of the class, what is your goal? Tell me again in the chat. For anyone that didn't answer, what is your goal getting into this? Are you trying to invest in another business or start your first business? Are you just looking to pay bills with it? Go on vacation? The goal is endless for everyone, is because everyone is going to have a different reasons on why they want to do this. For me, I wanted to invest in another business. So, why should you start landing medical courier contracts? So, in this graph right here, it shows the growth for medical courier work from 2023 all the way up to 2033. This is a 10-year span. And as you can see, these numbers on here up on top, they are scaling consistently every single year. And this, mind you, this is not the hundreds of thousands or whatnot. This is a $1 billion business. So 5.9 billion is projected in 2023, all the way up to 9.2 billion. This is why I tell people that medical courier is recession proof. Our courier is recession proof. I started in the pandemic, and it has been able to help me even after the pandemic, even during when we had the recession. I always tell people that medical courier is considered the umbrella. You can also deliver other items like medical specimens, medical supplies, x-rays, transportation of drugs, blood and organ, as well as medical notes. Again, it will look a little different from every different state. I'm in Southern California, so out here I was mainly medical specimens, medical supplies. I'm not saying that you can't do other things, but that is what I was delivering mainly, and a couple of documents here and there, like that will categorize under medical notes. I believe everyone should have a contract, a medical courier contract, is because it is forever going to be a need. If there's a hospital, if there's a clinic in your area, a medical courier or courier will be needed. Like Tanya started with just her car. She wanted to grow faster. She wanted to make more, and she wanted to put more inside of her vehicle. So remember, you don't have to stay in the car. She invested in a cargo van, and she's making anywhere from $800 to $1,000 per week from one contract. Remember, I'm all about stacking the contracts. I can stack, you can stack, because we're not stacking, let's talking about like food or people, because I come from doing Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and you can't stack food and people like you can stack these medical courier routes. Now, can I show you how I made my first $100,000 with medical courier contracts as a new mini side business? Now remember, I started this as a side hustle or side business, and then it grew to a full-term business. So Nick says 951 buys Moval. Yep, we're neighbors. This is my three-step strategy to securing contracts. Again, I want to put this disclaimer. I do not want you to overthink this. This is one of the easiest businesses or side hustles or whatever you want to call it that I have ever done. And I've done it all. I've done Amazon FBA, I've done drop shipping, I've done YouTube automation. And I'm not saying these things don't work. What I'm saying is that this is one of the easiest. The hardest thing for people is showing up when they don't see the results immediately. That is the hardest part. But I'm here to tell you that once you stay consistent, you will see the results. Just like Michelle. Michelle started with me about less than 6 months ago. She was having some health issues, but she stayed consistent. She started her business. She said, nope, I don't want to do this whole card thing. I want to jump straight into the business side. And that is what she did. Right now, she has at least 7 different contracts in 7 different states. Did you hear me? 7 different contracts in 7 different states. And she is not stopping there. I want you to comment, I am next in the chat. Now, do you have to understand, in order for you to be able to go after, those large amounts of contracts and be able to win, it starts with step one, which is structuring your business. You must structure your business. Now, keep in mind, we're going to talk about 2 avenues. We're going to talk about Avenue 1 or A, which is getting contracts with your car. Then we're also going to talk about getting contracts in your business name. Now, I have to make this very clear to you all is that both is very lucrative, but at the same time, one avenue is going to require you to do something slightly different than the other avenue. Can it be done simultaneously? Absolutely, yes. Do I expect you to do it simultaneously? Yes, I do. It's because, remember, I want you to make the now money, but then I also want you to be working on that business side. So let's start off with your car. So if you already have that car or van or truck, it does not matter. You already have a smartphone and you already have full coverage insurance. I mean, at least you should have insurance. You already have that, then you already are in the game. So that's the first thing. The next thing is that you need to update your resume. No, you do not need a resume that reflect a medical career or career experience for the last 7 to 10 years. No, you don't need that. What I did was all I did was update my current position or my previous one. That is all I want you to update on your resume. If you have warehouse work like I had, still put that on there if it's previous. If you have admin assistant or office work, because I had that, I still put that in there. But my current position or my previous one had the medical career or career experience. Now keep in mind, I was Uber, I was lifting, I was door dashing, I was Instacarting. So that was my experience. In the chat, tell me what type of experience you do have. And for anyone that feels like they don't have any experience, I want you to comment none in the chat. So in the chat, Beverly already said it, none. Who else in the chat? I see Uber, I see none, I see pharmacy tech, Amazon Flex. I see some more nuns. Uber, shipped. All right, cool. For the people who already have some type of career, medical career experience, you're going to update your resume and you're going to just include that experience. Now, for everyone else that tells me you have none, I'm going to share with you how you're going to finesse your resume. So I use Chat GPT. Well, I use Canva in order to organize and update my resume. And remember, it's free 99. You do not have to pay for Canva. And then I also use Chat GPT to organize my wording to make sure everything looks, sounds good. So for anyone in the chat that says none, I'm talking to you right now. Excuse me. Have you ever went to go, let's say, to the hospital or taking your loved one to the doctor or something? Something to that nature, or to the dentist or anything like that? Comment me in the chat. For anyone that has had to go fill a prescription up for their child or for their loved one, I want you to put me in the chat. Anyone has delivered food for a loved one. So if you all said yes to one or all of those things, this is the experience you're going to use. You're going to go into Chat GPT. You're going to tell Chat that's saying, hey, now mind you, you can do the free version with Chat with this. You do not have to pay and spend no money. You're going to say, hey, Chat, I want to update my resume because I'm going after some medical career opportunities, and I want my resume to reflect at least one job experience. Then you're going to actually state what it is that you have done. I've delivered food. I've taken patients. Keyword, I'm not going to say my mama. I'm going to say I took in patients to the doctor. I picked up prescriptions. I've given great customer service. These are the things you're going to tell chat, so then chat can spit you out something that you can put on your resume. That is how we're going to use our past experience. I know we probably did not get paid for that, but we're going to still use that on our resume. Because remember, all we need is either current or previous position. We don't have to go back 7 to 10 years. So once you have updated your resume, you have already completed part one. Part two is you need to get certified. Now, the top two certifications that you're going to need is going to be the HIPAA and the bloodborne pathogen. I do understand, or excuse me, I want you to understand that some contracts, heavy on the sum, is going to require an additional certification like the TSA pre-check or the TWIC card. Please do not go out there and spend that money before you even start to make money, because some contracts will not even require you to have that TWIC or TSA, especially if that's not what the contract entails. But the top two is going to be your HIPAA and blood-borne pathogen. In the chat, let me know. Are you certified? If you are certified with at least the HIPAA and blood-borne pathogen, go ahead and put certified, or you can put yes in the chat. For everyone that says no, I'm going to give you all a checklist later on where you can be able to go get that certification tonight. It's about $20 to $30 to get the certification. You can get it online, and then boom, you will have it. And then that is out of the way. Who is a certification with? So I went through a company that I was already working for, but you can go through Red Cross. And I have a couple other companies that you can go with, but I do understand that my situation was slightly different. It's because I got hired on with a company and they actually paid me because they hired me to take the certification under them, which was the HIPAA and the bloodborne pathogen. But you don't have to do that. Go ahead and get that certification so you can already get started and you can start working. Now, keep in mind, when you are looking and searching for opportunities, most of the time, this is all that you're going to need. They're going to have you apply using your name and your social security number. But then you're going to run across some opportunities that's going to require you to still use your car, but they're going to say, oh, we want you to apply using your EIN number or your LLC information. Now, I need you to understand, is an LLC required for you to land your first medical courier contract? Absolutely not. Does it help you maximize and land it faster? Absolutely yes. So my motto is I like to open up my surroundings. So like if I'm only looking at contracts for my car, it's like a smaller box. It's a smaller area. Now, if I go ahead and include my information with my LLC, my EIN, then I open up to more opportunity. Keep in mind, some companies is still going to allow you to be in a car and they're still going to want you to have this. So if you're like, hey, I don't want to do that, skip it. But do know that you open yourself up to more opportunities when you have what it is that they're looking for. So tell me in the chat, do you already have your business set up? You already have that LLC, that EIN, that business bank account, business email. What is it that you already have? For the people who tell me no, I also got a checklist for you. My goal is to make sure that when you leave this class, you already have the avenues that you need in order for you to start, the steps that you need in order to start making money with your car. Then I'm also going to make sure that you have the next step, which is making sure your business is contract ready. All right. I see LLC and retail. All right, dope. No, I need everything. Okay, Victor, I got you. I have everything on the list. I'm just having trouble finding contracts. iPhone, I got you. I'm missing business email, business phone number. That's easy. As long as you have the LLC, EIN, and business bank account, you can still start applying. Getting a business email and a phone number, you can get that in about an hour or less. Because I'm going to share with you. All right, so that is step one. Everyone, that is step one. Most of you all already have step one completed. Step two is finding the contract. Keep in mind, we're going to talk about first where you're going to find these types of contracts in your business name. So in your business name, you're going to have private contracts. You have government contracts, corporate contracts, state contracts, county contracts, as well as city contracts. And there's so many more out there on a business level. Keep in mind that you have more opportunity when you're on a business level, and then also it is less saturated. I don't want you to think that you cannot get a contract with your car, but I just have to keep it 100 with you. It is a little bit saturated, but it does not mean you're not going to get a contract. It was saturated when I first started in 2021, and some people are still saying it's saturated. But you know how you're going to win a contract over the next is because you're going to be consistent and you're going to show up every single day. Beverly says a business address. Yes, a physical address is needed. Now, when you are going after contracts in your car, these are the areas where you're going to find these type of opportunities. So I like to look on sites that already have the work on there. These are my top five. My top five, I want you to write them down. It's going to be Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter and Indeed is where I found 80% of all my contracts. But do not sleep on CB Driver. I found a couple of contracts on CB Driver, as well as the CLDA and even Craigslist. Yes, people, Craigslist. I found a few opportunities on there, and I actually got hired for them with them. Did I stay with them? No, it's because the money wasn't right. And mind you, even when I land a contract, I'm going to continue looking because you never know when the next best contract is. If you stop looking, you'll never know. Then, as a bonus, I don't want you to sleep on Indeed. You need to, excuse me, not Indeed, Google. Google. I said that wrong. Google. This is where I found a lot of partnering companies, companies that were not, that was hiring, that was not on here. So even though these job boards have opportunities, it does not mean that the companies is only going to use these in order to put out their, solicitation, have you and apply. No. So do not sleep on Google. But this right here is going to be your top five. If you go through everything I'm going to share with you in this class with all of these different sites and just say you did not find anything, then you will go to Google. But I promise you, if you do everything I'm telling you, you most likely won't even get to Google because you'll have so many opportunities. Now, when you are looking for opportunities on these sites, you want to make sure that you have your keywords. Here are some keywords, examples of some keywords that I am will have you use. Medical courier, of course, is number one. Courier, independent contractor, but you can do 1099. You can do delivery driver, lab. You could put LAB, lab is a keyword. You could put just driver. What else? I think it's one more I had on my head. I forgot. Either ways, but these are the keywords that you're going to want to use in order to find opportunities on the sites. Now, I want to do some live searching. I'm all about actually showing you exactly, not just telling you like go on Indeed and you're like, well, how do I do it? I know it sounds self-explanatory, but I have a couple of tricks. I have a couple of tricks. So in the chat, give me your city and your state. Your city and your state in the chat. The first site we're going to do is Indeed. All right, I see Nick, Colton, California. All right, so I'm going to put Colton, California, and I'm going to start with that first main keyword, which is always going to be medical courier. Always start with medical courier. So the first thing that I do before I start applying, or actually, let me take a step back. Since you already have that resume, you need to upload your resume to here. You're gonna go to this little face right here, and you're gonna go to the profile, and you're going to add your resume. So therefore, when you apply for everything, they'll pull that resume. That's the first thing. All right, so after you do put medical courier and Colton in here, the next thing you're going to do is that you're going to open up your mileage from 35 miles to 100 miles. Now, why do I say this? I say this from experience. When I used to do Uber and I used to do Lyft, okay, well, let me take this back. I stay in Riverside, California, and that's about an hour away from LA. Now, when I first got started, I had already knew that the money is not in my area. I can make a little bit of coins, but I can't get to the bag where I need it to be if I'm not traveling outside of my county. That means going to Los Angeles, going to Orange County, going to San Diego, heck, even San Bernardino. I knew that if I stayed in my area, I probably wouldn't even be having this class with you because I'm like, this sucks. So because I did Uber and Lyft, I had already known that I need to leave. So this is why I opened up the mileage to 100, because you want to see the opportunities. Remember, the more opportunities, the more money that you're going to be making. If you don't have opportunity to choose from, you're going to choose either whack ones, or you'll just be like, this is not it. This is why you want to open up to 100 miles. Now you're probably thinking like, 100 miles, that's a lot of driving. Well, you might want to leave class because we drive around here. And if you don't want to drive, then you need to focus on getting contracts in your name, in your business name, so then you can turn around and hire people who already have a vehicle, who already have that van or whatnot, already have the insurances, and then you can give them the contract, and then you can make money off each individual person. But remember, if we're just starting off with our car, we need to be being able to see the opportunity. Now, when you are applying, I want you to apply for everything. I don't care if it does not fit your pay goal. Now, even though this might say 16 to $18 an hour, you're like, that's not enough. I still want you to apply, because every single company that I have got hired with, I always ask them for more money. And believe it or not, you'll be surprised how many companies will give it to you. Remember, the worst they can say is no. And when they told me no, I make sure, even if they told me yes, I'm still going to be keeping applying. And so for the people that told me no, I was like, it's all good. I'm going to keep applying. And therefore, when I find what I'm looking for, I'm going to quit that job. I'm going to quit it right. But remember, there's no loyalty that I have with these companies because they don't have it with me. The only thing I make sure I do is I do a great job. I make sure I'm on time. I make sure I give the best that I can. But I'm not going to stay with you for years and years or months. So just keep that in mind. Take it, but then be willing to leave. Don't stay there. So you want to apply for everything. Everything. Now, the only thing you do not apply for, is because I don't do it, is if you see this FedEx or Amazon Flex. No disrespect to anybody that's does Amazon Flex. I just don't do it. So I'm not going to tell you to do something I'm not going to do. You can still do it. You can still make some coins with it. I just don't believe in getting in and out of my car 200 times a day just to make $1 or two. I don't care if I make $10. I'm not doing that. Been there, done that. Don't want to do it. So that is like the only thing I'm going to tell you all, excuse me, is to skip, is the FedEx, Amazon Flex, um anything like that. Other than that, apply. So you're going to apply for everything on page 1, page 2, 3, 4, and 5. You do not move keywords until you apply for everything. So many people tell me, oh, I can't find a contract, and the first question I ask them is, how much are you applying for a day? You need to understand, no one knows that you are hungry and that you want a contract. No one knows that you have a vehicle, a van, or a box truck and you want to do medical courier work. So what you have to do is get in front of as many people as you can on a daily, because this is a numbers game. This is nothing new. Goes for everything what you want to go after as far as opportunities in this world. You have to reach out to a lot just to get a little bit. So in order for you to make sure that you are getting contracts and your phone is always ringing, I make sure I apply for everything before I move over to the next keyword. So then once I apply for everything, then I'm going to go to Courier and I'm apply for everything on that page. Then I'm going to go to 1099 or independent contractor. I'm going to apply. Then I'm going to rinse and repeat everything that I did on Indeed. I'm going to do it on ZipRecruiter. And then I'm going to go through the keywords again. I'm going to start at medical courier. I'm going to open up 100 miles and I'm going to apply for everything. And then I'm going to go to the next keyword. So you have to understand is that you must be putting in applications just so you can be able to get landed 1 or 2 new contracts a week. All right. Sounds good? Understood? So I talked to you about opening up your mileage to 100. And mind you, I do not, this is what I preach. This is what I tell my students. You must be looking for contracts every single day. And you don't have to spend hours. I tell you, less than 60 minutes a day. And in some scenarios, it's less than 30 minutes a day. Randy landed his first medical courier contract with the company within the first 30 days of committing. Comment I am next. Comment I am next in the chat. Now, the next thing we're going to focus on is applying for at least 25 to 40 positions a day. I want you to set the tone right now. What is going to be your goal? It's nothing under 25. You have to be showing up every day and at least applying for 25 a day. Now, mind you, when I first started, I was doing the 25. Mind you, I'm telling you what I did. I'm not just making up these numbers. I started off with 25 a day. My first week, I landed my first contract. After my first week, I landed my first contract. And I was like, all right, so let me see if I double it. So then I went to 40 to 50 a day. The following week, I did not land one, I landed two contracts. So this is why I'm telling you all, you need to show up and you need to play the numbers game. 25 to 40 a day. In the chat, what is going to be your goal? And remind you, you can do this in the morning as well as the afternoon or evening. You want to make sure that you turn on those notifications because when, let's say, a new company, let's just say a new company is just posted BioTouch. You want to sit there and go apply right then and there. Your resume is already on Indeed. You can do this all from your phone. You do not have to log in and get a laptop. You don't have to do none of that. You should be applying straight on your phone because remember, good opportunities, not take that away, great opportunities, they come and go really fast. So the good ones really do leave. And I need you to understand this is because I have been able to experience this. This is why I'm telling you all this because when I first got started, mind you, when I wanted to get into this, I was also leaving Uber and Lyft because mind you, we're talking about pandemic time. So this is when people was like, oh, 6 feet, you can't be around me, you sneezing, you wearing a mask. So people wasn't trying to get in cars like that. So it was a decline for Uber and Lyft where I was at. So therefore, I was like, all right, I'm going to do medical courier. And I'm going to research this. So then I had my friend that I was also doing Uber, Lyft, and Instacart because we had both worked at Amazon together. Like he was a hustler just like me. So whenever I had got new opportunities, I would give it to him. So one day I was like, hey, you should start applying. So he was like, send me everything that you apply for. And that's what I did. One in particular company that I worked for that he didn't. And it's only because he did not move fast enough. I was giving him opportunities and I was like, hey, go on Indeed, here it is, go apply. And one in particular one, he could not find it. It's because once I got hired, I'm always going to ask questions. I'll be over there, yip, 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 yip. Very personable. I want you to know who I am. If I have questions, I'm going to ask them. And so I was like, how often do you put this position up? It was like, as often as I need to because we consistently get contracts. I said, well, how long do you leave it up? He was like, max 2 days because after 2 days, I get over 200 applicants. So then I started thinking, if I don't show up every single day, I could be losing opportunities. This is why I want you to show up every single day and apply, 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 because you never know when they drop them and then they take it. So keep that in mind. All right, I see in the chat. Trayvon says 30 per day. Michael 25 to 40. Key 30. Who else? I only see a handful of people. I got almost 100 people in here and only 5 or 6 committed. That's going to be a problem. You won't win that contract. I'm telling you right now. All right, the next thing is I'm going to be giving you all a mini lead list. This lead list has about 25 partnering companies that is going to be located all over the USA. That means no matter where you're at, you should be applying with these companies because they are going to be nationwide. So let's do it in real time. Let's do it now. So we're going to go into Google. I'm going to go into Google right now. And I'm going to, let's do this. I want you all to go ahead and put this into Google. We're going to put in Associated. We're going to put in Associated Couriers LLC. We're going to put in Associated Couriers LLC. Then once you have put that in, sometime a sponsor page comes up. If it doesn't, cool. But this, you're looking for this. Associated Couriers. You're going to open this up. Now, 9 times out of 10, what you're going to be looking for is usually going to be at the header or the footer. I don't see anything here that's saying drive with us, become an independent contractor, partner with us. So I'm gonna go to the bottom, which is going to be your footer. Your footer, boom, independent contracting. Click that. You're gonna scroll down. It's telling you to select a region. Let's select United States. Then it says, please visit this page. You should be doing this in real time because I'm here to prove to you that applying only takes about 60 seconds, max 2 minutes. So we're going to do it in class today. Now we're going to scroll down and it says how to apply. We're going to hit this important information. You're going to read this, but the only thing that we're looking for right now is this Courier lead submission form. You see that? Here, I'm going to make it real easy and I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm put in the chat, click it, and I want you to fill it out in real time. You know why I want you to fill it out no matter where you're at? Because this is one of these nationwide companies. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be an opportunity that is going to be in your state. You're going to fill out your name, your email, your phone number, your home address, and then these qualifying details. They're very quick, straightforward, to the point. And I want you to fill it out right now. Once you have completed everything, mind you, these are just yes or no questions. Click, 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 click. Once you have completed, I want you to comment done in the chat. Comment done in the chat. I want you to start getting into the groove of applying. All right, I'm gonna give you guys 60 seconds, not 60 minutes, 60 seconds to apply. It's because we are applying in real time for our first Courier opportunity. When you have completed it, go ahead and comment done in the chat. Comment done in the chat. Nick says, aside from applying online, what about approaching local pharmacies and clinics in person? Yes, Nick, you can do that. That is considered direct and or even private contracts. So I usually what I do for trying to get local companies or contracts with the company is that I usually have my VA do this because I don't like doing the little small details. I'll have her go in and find me all the opportunities that's in my area, maybe like a 50-mile radius, not 100, a 50. And now I'm looking for the hospitals, the clinics, any pharmacies, what else? Dialysis center, anything that says medical. Then I do walk-ins. I like to call them, email them, and then do a walk-in because from my experience, the walk-in is usually the seller. Like you really can get people to say companies say yes because they actually see you and they see that you're real. And the 9 times out of 10, you have already reached out to them and they're like, oh yeah, weren't you emailing? I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So most definitely, Nick, most definitely. T says just sign on. What is the steps? You're going to click the link in the chat. The link in the chat. I just put it in here right before you said that. And you're going to apply in real time with this company right here. And if I'm not mistaken, this company does life saving. So organ transport. They require commercial driver's license. If you have that, excuse me, if you don't have that, go ahead and put NA. Go ahead and put NA. Because I know this company does accept vehicles with cars. All right, once you have completed it, go ahead and click done. Go ahead and click done. Teacher says, nah. Nah, what? Nah, what? Nick says, thank you and done. Congratulations. Congratulations to everyone who have applied. Now let's go ahead and go to step 3. Step 3 is going to be our last step. That is going to be how we maximize our earnings. So that means turning a $100 or $200 day to a $200 to $300 day, a $200 to $300 day to a $400 or $500 day. So when I told you I was making anywhere from $500 to $600 a day consistently, this is how. I use all 3 steps, but the last step sent me over, and this is where I got to my goals. Because remember, you are not going to be able to make that 85, that 10,000, or whatever the goal that you want to make per month with one contract. I'm not here to tell you you only need one contract. I know that there's other people out here that you done seen and read, and they're like, "Oh, I made all this from one contract." I'm not gonna say that they're lying because I don't know what they do, but I know what I do, and I know for a fact for me to make 8,500 plus per month, I need more than one contract. My sweet spot was 1 or 2 main medical courier routes, and then I would pair it with apps. You always want to have a couple of apps under your belt. Why? Is because when you turn on these apps, that means you can start accepting work. With the main routes, a main medical courier or courier route, they want you to be more committed. That means they're going to tell you you need to be here at this time to this time. They're going to tell you how much you're going to get paid per stop or hourly or mileage reimbursement. But when you're doing the apps, you can just turn them on. This is why I like to pair my apps with my routes. This is how I make that money. Congratulations, iPhone. You have completed. So we're going to start to look at apps. So I want you to, awesome iPhone. I want you to take a screenshot. Take a screenshot because this is going to be another part of your homework. Your homework is going to for you to reach out to the lead list that I'm going to give you at the end of the class, and then you're also going to apply for everything on this page right here. So screenshot it. Now, keep in mind some apps will require you to apply directly on their app. And then some apps will have you apply on their website. Excuse me. These is what you see right here. This is on your website. These are opportunities that you're not going to see what they have available until you apply. And then after that you apply, you get hired, then they'll give you access to the app. Are these apps only in California? Nope. I want you to apply no matter where you're at. So my goal for everyone was not to try and to give you opportunities that is in your state. I do have another lead list with about 2,500 opportunities as well as apps that is in your state. But that is not what I'm giving you right now. This right here, the reason why I'm giving you all these is because 9 times out of 10, this is going to be located no matter where you're at. So therefore, I gave you nationwide opportunities. So that means one rail and all these other companies, if they don't do in all 50 states, they do about in 40. But there's not going to be like, oh, we only do in California and one rail. Nope. I want you to apply for all of these. On track, hey, I work for them. Nice might have at least a toe in the door. That's what's up, Nick. And also be open if you are already with the company, medical courier or app or whatnot. Be open and ask them, hey, do you have any more work? You'll be surprised when a company will be like, actually, I do. I have another route. I have a couple of students I told do this, and they were able to get a master contracting opportunity. That means they held the contract and they were able to hire people under them. So make sure that you are open. Welcome, Cornelius. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to apply in real time, just like we just did with this other company. What company we're going to do? We're going to pick something. We're going to pick airspace. So let's pick airspace. Let's put an airspace into the Google. Then we're going to click the second one, which is going to be drive with us. So I'm going to copy this just to make everyone's life easier that is tuning in. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Click it because you're going to apply for this right now. Start driving today. I want you to answer and go ahead and apply in real time right now. Select your city and your state. Let me just pick something. You're going to press continue. You're going to fill out all this information. You're going to start the onboarding. They're going to ask you a couple of more questions. And then boom, you're going to be done. I want you to start applying for this right now. Airspace is a great company. And I will say this, because some people will say airspace is not good, and some people will say airspace is good, depending on your location. But what I will say is that with every single app that you do on board with, and before you start driving, I want you to study your app. That means don't accept anything yet. I just want you to log in, turn it on, and then see what is available. I want you to do this for like 2 days. I want you to look at 5 a.m. I want you to look at 12 p.m. I want you to look at 5 p.m. I want you to look at 10 p.m. The reason why I say that is because apps have a pattern. They're going to drop opportunities at certain times of the day. Like even like for example, Roadie. I had studied Roadie app. And Roadie is located in a lot of different states. So you can look into Roadie as well. But I mainly only wanted medical courier routes or pharmacy or prescription pickups with Roadie. And I knew because I did my research, they would only drop them between 8 a.m., 7, 8 a.m. to no later than 1:30. 1:30, they stopped. I would never see, or very few if I did, I didn't see an opportunity that was medical courier after 1:30. So what does that mean for you and I? So then you know you can plan your schedule. You know that if I want medical courier, I'm going to make sure that I have the app on and I'm ready to go at this time. So I want you to do that with every single app that you get on. Airspace seemed that seem like you do that do want you to have a TWIC card in my area. That is correct. Airspace does want you to have a TWIC. Again, I'm going to give you a checklist where you can be able to know where to go get a TWIC or let's say a TSA certification as well. Because remember, the HIPAA and the bloodborne is like the number two. Depending on what company you work for, they're going to have other certifications. This is an example that Airspace will want you to have another certification. They pay cheap on rollies, Jocelyn says. Yes, they pay. It just depends. Because for me, I would get opportunities that was like on the low end, $25, on the higher end, like $80. But keep in mind, I'm not saying that it was one route. When I would accept like the 80, there was about 8 different stops that I had. Sometimes it was less, sometimes it was more. So you do have to understand is that study the app, please study the app no matter where you're at. And then also a lot of these apps are location based. So for example, let's say let's just use Roadie for example. Let's say you want to see more opportunity. You might not never see it because you're not in that location. You're not in that proximity. Because I experienced this heavy when I used to do Instacart. Instacart paid me great money during the pandemic. It was booming. But I also have found out that when I was closer to the Costco's, the Sam Club, or just the stores that opportunity was being dropped, I seen them over someone that was in the next 10 miles or even the next city over. So just keep that in mind. All of these companies is going to have a pattern. Just study it. Jocelyn said, like ours in Texas is $7 or $9. You know what? Then skip that. So me personally, if I don't see what I like, I'm not gonna accept it. I'm not working for pennies. Don't get it twisted. Even if I seen that in my area, I'm not accepting that. Let's have some respect. I'm not doing that. So just keep in mind if it's 7 or 9, we're gonna abort. Because remember, I told you you want more opportunities. This is why I like 3 or 4 different apps. It's because let's say this app A is paying $7 to $9, but now I turned on 2, 3, 4, and now I can see better opportunity. Bump first app. This is why I'm able to make more money is because I play all the apps against each other. I'm cherry picking. I'm only going after what I want. I do not drive around for pennies. And that's why I don't like DoorDash. When I used to do DoorDash heavenly, I was like, I'm not driving and picking up for $3 or $4. That's disrespectful. So then I left them alone. And that's why I focus more on better paying apps or just medical courier and courier opportunities. All right, so let's move on. We're almost done. So we just applied for airspace. I want you to continue that. If you have not finished that, go ahead and continue that. I want you to understand the reason why I say this is because when you're stacking, that is where an opportunity, the max money that you're going to be making. D here, she did exactly what I'm telling you guys to do. She didn't focus on one contract, not just two. She has landed at least 3 contracts and is making over $2,500 a week. Now, I do understand that might not be the same for everyone, but if you are hungry and you're consistent and you don't stop, because remember, just when you find a contract or an app, you don't stop. You keep applying. You keep applying. At one point, I was applying, I was getting hired, and then I never even went and actually started day one because I was getting hired so much. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take that. I don't want that. Mind you, I didn't accept it and actually start to drive and then just leave them. And even if I did, I was going to be communicative and let them know I'm going to be not working here after 2 weeks. And that's if I give a 2 weeks notice. I just have this thing about giving 2 weeks notice when they don't give us a 2 week notice when they fire us. That's just me. All right, Jason here. Jason is one of my mentees that did not stop at one opportunity. He started off with auto parts. I don't want you to sleep on auto parts. Auto parts technically falls under courier. Yes, we're talking about medical courier, but keep in mind, we're going to deliver anything except food, people, and packages. That's what we don't want to do. But if it's auto parts, don't sleep on it, is because you can get an auto part contract with multiple different auto parts companies as well as dealerships. The dealerships is going to need these auto parts, so do not sleep on them. Then he landed a second contract with Opticare as well as Health Direct. He has a total of 4 contracts, and now he's working on that business side. Remember, I told you all, you do not want to stick with contracts just with your car. You want to focus on the business side. There's now money, and then there's money that we're going to build that's going to take us out of our financial situation totally. So now his focus is going after USPS contracts with the United States Postal Services. No, I'm not talking about you going in the little blue shorts into the people's houses and deliver packages, mail. No, that's giving Amazon Flex, if you ask me. No. What I'm speaking of is you working on a bigger, larger scale. You are going to be picking up and delivering big bags of mail to different stations, that mailing centers, that when they get it, they have to sort the mail. That is where the individual mail owners, individuals, runners, is going to be delivering the mail. So keep in mind, we're not working at for USPS just to drive the little trucks. We're talking about getting started at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and being done at 12, 1 o'clock. It's because you have to be delivering the mail from one location to another warehouse. All right, so in the chat, tell me in the chat, how much money do you want to make a month? Are you trying to make an extra $2,000 a month? Are you trying to attack this part-time? Are you trying to make an extra 5,000? Are you trying to make an extra 10? How much? 15, 20? What is your financial monthly goal? Jocelyn says extra 5K. Samsung says 5. Tiffany says 10. EJ 10. Who else? Joanne says 10. Victor says, I'm gonna start off with 10. Joe says, bump that. I want 15K. Excuse me. Trevor says 6 to 8, 5,000 for right now. All right, cool. I want you all to keep this in mind. Everyone that said how much they want to make is very much so doable. But keep in mind, once you start to go over like 10K, that's where you're gonna have to shift and remove yourself from the car and focus now on getting contracts in your business name. So I want to talk to you about that other option, which is that business side. We talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but I want to go in a little bit more on the business side. What do I mean with business side? I'm talking about going after courier, medical courier, supply contracts with the government, even private, but mainly with the government or with the or state contracts. I want to share with you all how you're going to be able to unlock way more money, way more financial freedom, and then the ability to get out of that car and then focus more on getting contracts in your business name. Now, when I first got started, I had already knew about government contracting because prior to getting into this, I had a vending machine business. I started this in the 2020 at the top of the pandemic. Excuse me. I chose vending because of the whole social distancing and people couldn't be around other people. So I said I wanted a business that was going to withstand the current pandemic or another one. Hence why I even went into medical courier. I had the same model. So I already knew about government contracting with vending because I was going after contracts with the government for vending machine. So I was always intrigued. Every company I was considering or work for, even if it wasn't vending, I was always looking to see, do they get government contracts? Well, the company I had worked for, one of the best companies that paid the best money, was called Crosstown Courier. Write that down. I work for Crosstown Courier, and they have several locations all throughout the USA. They have a location for the East Coast, the West Coast, and as well as the Midwest. Write down Crosstown Courier. They get government contracts. And I'm going to show you that they do. This screenshot is a payout from Crosstown Courier. You see right here, Crosstown Courier. And this was at the top of the year. Crosstown, and mind you, I can pull up what they've done in the last 30 days. Crosstown Courier is not sleeping on contracts. They are winning contracts and they don't stop. They stack, just how I tell you to stack in your own, they're stacking government contracts. So in the top of the year, Crosstown run a contract for $107,000. Then about 2 weeks later, 2 weeks prior, I'm sorry, 2 weeks prior, they won another contract for $729,000. That's two contracts in a matter of what, about 2 weeks. It doesn't stop there. That same month, Crosstown won another contract for $240,000. Then they won another contract for $203,000. That is a total of $1.3 million in less than 2 months. This is why I want you to be able to start the business side. Yes, making the now money is great. It helped me pay my bills. It helped me invest into my current business. It bought my supplies. It did all of that and some. But what about when I got tired of driving? It's not a matter of if, but when. You're gonna get tired of driving. Because I got tired fast. I had been driving since 2017 doing Uber and Lyft. So I was used to driving, but it didn't mean I liked it. I was tired. After the pandemic had lifted up, I was like, oh my goodness, people out and about now. It's traffic again. Cause I remember it was no traffic. I was over there making so much money doing medical courier because just from the traffic, I was able to get from one location to the next. And I was like, do you have any more routes? And they was giving them to me. But what happens when your car takes a crap? What happens when you got in a car accident? These are all real things that happen to me. This is why I'm telling you all think about that. This is why I'm over here trying to position it for you all to go after business contracts in your business name, whether it's government or whether it's the state. And it doesn't just stop here. This is a medical supply. Now remember, we're not just talking about medical courier only has government contracts. No, they have all contracts. You cannot go in, or they cannot go into, like, let's say the Walmart or the grocery store like you and I. Nope, they have to go through a small business like us. And then we sit there and do business and supply the service or the product, whatever it is. This is why I want you all to have a government contract or two a year at the very least, because you see what they're paying. You see what it is. You don't need a contract every single week from that's a government contract. Nope. I say your goal is one a quarter. Because if you are sit there and getting one that's $100,000, I'm not even telling you that, oh, your goal should be 200,000. Not saying that you can't get to that, but I want to make sure that I'm very transparent and I want you to be very realistic. I'm not here to sell you like, yeah, you can make $1 million in your first contract. Can it be done? Yes, but I'm going to shoot for the minimum. 100,000. 100,000 a quarter. All right. So you have to understand that you must get your business contract ready. Remember earlier, I was saying you have your LLC, your EIN, your business bank account, your physical address, your business email, your business phone number. You must have your your business contract ready. Why? Is because you will never be able to bid on anything if you don't have this. That's the first step. Why do I say that? These are the results of a solid foundation. Christina is one of my best students that has started with me since I started. In 3 months, Christina won her 49 medical supply contracts with the government. You know what the greatest part about it is that she did not hire one person. She did not even leave her house. If you did not know, when we're going after government contracts or even the state contracts, you are literally in your house making these commands and setting up these routes or whatnot because you're working with someone else that's going to be delivering. But with medical supplies, because of HIPAA and some other stuff that goes on, we do not need a driver. We can use FedEx. We can use the UPS in order to deliver. I suggest FedEx is because you can get a FedEx account, you can get cheaper rates. It's because remember, the more money you save, the more it's going to go in your pocket as far as profit. But she won 49 medical supply contracts in under 3 months and under 90 days. Comment up next in the chat. Danisha, she's another one. She landed her first contract in the first month. And then for anyone that's like, oh my goodness, I want to just do this part time. I tell everyone there is a space and opportunity for every single one of us, whether we're starting as a beginner or we're starting at advanced. Jim here, he still loves his job. He said, I'm not quitting it. It pays great. And that's not what I'm here to do, is try to convince you to quit your job. Quit it when you feel comfortable. But what I am doing is making sure that when you get to that point, you're in a position to be financially successful and you're not sitting here thinking like, oh my goodness, did I make the right decision? But Jim, he works very part time and he's driving five to $700 a week. He's making anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Tell me who can use an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month just part time. I tell everyone, contract success isn't just luck. It's about taking the action. People who consistently apply 20 to 30 contracts a day, they achieve a 99 success rate in landing contracts. Just like Warren. Warren started off with getting contracts with his car. Then he said, all right, I'm ready to step into the business side. He's going at the USPS contracts. This is why I always telling everyone is that you want to make sure you're building that business side. iPhone says, I can't find 20 to 30 contracts to apply for. Are you sure? What is your city and state? Because I just went over in this class. Um, Let me ask you a question. What's your city and what's your state? And then also, are you opening up your mileage to 100 miles? Are you testing the different keywords? Are you looking on Indeed and ZipRecruiter, the CLDA, CB Driver, Craigslist? Because if you tell me you're not going all in, because my thing is this, the strategies that I gave you in this class, step one, two, and three, I know they work. But the question is are you showing up every single day and doing exactly what I just shared with you? I don't think so because Tampa, Florida is a hot area. And if you're opening up those 100 miles and you're looking at medical courier 1099, these are the keywords, you should have been found something at the very least. Now, let's just say you haven't. Let's just say you've done all of that. Then my answer or my suggestion is start the business side because there's so much more opportunity out there when you're starting the business side. So let me ask you a question. Are you ready to hear how I can help you a little further? Type yes in the chat. All right, so you have two options. You can go away with the 3 strategies under your belt and implement them on your own. You can go back and rewatch this class and you can implement everything on your own. Or you can stick around a little bit longer while I can let you or show you how to build the business side and also how I'm going to be able to position myself to help you land government and private contracts easier and faster. All right, so I can show you the exact blueprint in my current business right now, just like Michelle. Remember I told you, Michelle, she has over 7 contracts in 7 different states. And mind you, there's different avenues that you can go after. Michelle does not have government contracts. She has private contracts. Remember, private, government, I don't care. Long as you are not in that car driving all day long. She has contracts, but she is not driving all in 7 different states. What she did was she joined my Lab Academy 2.0. Now, I want to share with you what is inside and how this can benefit you. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're advanced. When you join, there is opportunity no matter where. So for individuals that's like, oh, I can't find anything. Reason why I said that, I'm not trying to call you all iPhone, is because I have a lead list inside of here. It has 2,500 opportunities. I have opportunities in every single state. I want to show you in real time. I have opportunities that's nationwide. I have opportunities that's Oregon. I have opportunities in different states. As you can see down here, these are different states at the bottom. You said Florida? Where are you at, Florida? Did I skip it? There you go. These are my opportunities in Florida. Almost 76 opportunities in Florida. So what I did was I put everything that I have learned and I have found how to research and I put it inside of this lead list. So for anyone that's like, oh, I'm still can't find any opportunity, you have access to my lead list. What you also have access to is my full apps. So I gave you some apps, but there's about 150 apps out there as well that I give you. So if you go in here and you go to my Courier Games board, I have a challenge, and we go ahead and go to where we're going to. I have driver networks, and then I have an app list for you all. So people was like, oh my goodness, I can't find apps. We're at almost 150 apps that I've already sourced for you all.